recognize my wife. Her picture is on that cookbook. Anybody see that cookbook? Well, thank you very much. What a delightful crowd. And you know, sometimes I say, boy, that was a good speech. I said, no, that was a good crowd. that makes all the difference in the world. You know, we talk about it, and AJ mentioned, you know, 1 of 3 tickets out, which is obviously true, and 1 of 2 that can actually run a national campaign and raise the money. But there's nobody else that have people like you working hard and enthusiastic. That is all the difference in the world. Before I continue with any more comments, I do want to bring, at least step forward, three of our chairmen. And you met already, AJ Stryker and David Fisher would step forward, as well as Drew Ivers, who's been the chairman. And they are on the Central Committee, and they have led the charge all throughout. But all I can think about in tough campaigns and all the hard work is the work you people do. It is unbelievable, the energy you have and the effort that you have made. But what makes me feel good about it is you're doing it because you believe in something. But you also know that there's 2 good things. Some people say, well, you guys just do that because you believe in something or promote a cause. Certainly, but how's the best way to promote a cause? That is win elections. That's the way you promote it. Now, the enthusiasm has been unbelievable. It's fantastic. It's national. Thousands of people now have been involved, not only in Iowa, but around the country, and they're ready and raring to go. But we have to look at the wonderful changes that have occurred in our country in a positive way. The country has suffered a lot in a negative way. The economy's in trouble. Our civil liberties are being trashed. Our foreign policy has been a mess and drains us both economically and our military forces. But at the same time, people are coming together, and we had the task, where we are very successful, is reintroducing some ideas the Republicans needed for a long time, and that is the conviction that freedom is popular. Once again, we have had a fantastic showing for this cause and challenging people. Not the status quo that we have been putting up with for decades after decades. But challenge them and saying, you know, let's challenge them. Let's go back to this real old-fashioned idea, this very dangerous idea. Let's obey the Constitution. Too often, those who preach limited government and small government, they forget that invasion of your privacy is big government, and we have to emphasize protecting your personal rights and your economic rights are what the government's supposed to do. They're not supposed to run our lives or spend our money. And also, along those lines, what we have introduced with so much enthusiasm, I hear it so often from so many volunteers. The other day, somebody came up to me, and he was refreshing my memory because he knew I knew the statement because I've said it. Back in the old days, in the early 70s, Nixon said, we're all Keynesians now, which meant that even the Republicans, they accepted liberal economics. He says, I'm waiting for the day when we can say, we're all Austrians now. But the biggest change, I think, in intellectual and political changes that we have brought about is the emphasis on a very important matter. Making sure we get to the bottom of the ultimate bailouters, and that is our Federal Reserve System. We need reforms there, and we need a new monetary system, but obey the Constitution. This is something that we've made great progress. So the first and initial important step that we've worked so hard, and it's on the table. Today there was a national poll came out, and they were talking about how many people supported the gold standard. How long has it been since they've taken a national poll on the gold standard? And guess what? The majority of the American people believe we should have a gold standard, not a paper standard. But also the great strides that we have made has been really on the foreign policy. The fact that we can once again talk in Republican circles and make it credible, talking about what Eisenhower said, to beware of the military-industrial complex. Talk about the old days when Robert Taft, Mr. Republican, said that we shouldn't be engaged in these entangling alliances. He believed what the founders taught us. He didn't even want to be in NATO. We certainly don't need NATO and the UN to tell us when to go to war. We have seen a great difference. The majority of the American people are behind us on this whole war effort. They're tired of the war, costs too much money, too many people get killed, too many people get injured, too many people get sick, and the majority, maybe 70 or 80% of the American people now are saying it's time to get out of Afghanistan.